Now, your Alaska Link weather for Anchorage and South Central.
We are just a week out from rounding off the end of June here, and as we take a look at that June summary, we have been seeing some of that more pleasant weather making its mark at points, but ultimately this month continues to fall with the cooler than normal temperature there, and we are going to see more of these cooler than normal temperatures over the next week, where we may even talk about adding more precipitation to the board as we are over an inch. Now, these numbers don't include what we've had from our Monday, but it is this change that we have seen out of our weekend forecast and now into this week of turning to the unsettled pattern that takes control and leads into the days here through this work week, and potentially even talking about carrying this forecast through our final June day, which comes next week on Monday, talking the cool and cloudy setup where highs will generally stay within the low 60s, even at points staying within the 50s, and then we have scattered showers. We'll watch several waves lift their way through for this early forecast here. Overall, not looking at high impacts, but more just this big changeover from noting that we had some beautiful blue skies and some warm temperatures last week. Now, taking a look here at our Dewey's Marine forecast, noting that overall, again, very minimal impact. So when it comes to our winds, we can see very light winds, even variable wind direction, staying under 10 knots. No big concerns there, but we will note that it's that flip of moving back over to the cooler temperatures with the cloudier skies. Even here in Anchorage, we're starting off our Tuesday at 50 degrees and staying to a high 60 degrees. We were at or even above where those averages were, and it was making for some nice days. And now we're back to this cooler feel where we will be seeing some potential breaks of some sunshine, but largely the forecast is going to be about some of these intermittent chances for some showery weather. We do have some times of some variable winds depending on the waves that pass on through, but no wind change here that's going to be any big occurrence for our Tuesday. More what we see is, again, we have these little waves of energy that can introduce some times there of some of those rain showers. If we do get some breaks in the clouds and then moisture follows up, there is still that instability this time of the year that can bring a few thunderstorms, and then we'll keep an eye on some of these times where we get some of those higher reflectivities that can uptick some of that rainfall potential. But overall, still even looking at rainfall accumulation through our Wednesday, we're noting most of our communities staying under a quarter of an inch at that, only a few hundredths of an inch to a few tenths of an inch even for our inland spots. So not a drenching setup, but the change up. 19 hours and 21 minutes of daylight here for Tuesday. Again, not too much change up since we hit that summer solstice last Friday, but it is definitely not feeling too much like that strong summertime weather as we are battling those 50s to low 60s for temperatures. And again, this is going to be a weather pattern that will continue to take us here through the rest of this week, and not only this week, but noting that we could extend again this through that final day of June, which does occur next week, Monday.